Dr. Rolando Cleofas is a seasoned executive protection specialist with over 20 years of experience. He has represented high-profile clients such as celebrities, corporate executives both non-expat and expat, and politicians. His experience ranges from classic tight protection measures to current digital security strategies. As the author of the Executive Protection Manual, he is committed to training and mentoring the next generation of protection professionals. His unique combination of real-world experience and ongoing study in the ever-changing environment of personal security qualifies him as a sought-after expert in the sector.
Dr. Cleofas, welcome to Central Books Author Spotlight. So, first of all, could you share a bit about your professional background and what inspired you to write these books on executive protection and
Sure. Yeah, thank you for that wonderful question. By the way, I'm Dr. Rolando P. Cleofas Jr. I'm the author of the book entitled The Executive Protection Manual, now available at Central Books, and you can also purchase this online, okay, by Lazada or Shopee. Now, to answer the question, again, I'm Dr. Rolando P. Cleofas Jr. I'm an accredited training director, also an awardee of 2024 Asia's Most Outstanding Practicing Criminologist in the field of private security industry. It was awarded by the Safety Golden Achievers. Okay, there are two other awards that I have received for 2024, but it's some sort of equally valued by the first one. I'm a Philippine national with almost 2 decades of extensive global commercial experience in the fields of real estate. We have the retail security, loss control and prevention, corporate physical security, crisis management, occupational safety and health, and of course, my very own book, the Executive Protection Manual. Yeah, I guess I possess a wide array of professional experiences handling large-scale projects and loss control operations in a multinational work environment. Basically, I was employed by one of the foreign companies, due to the contract agreement between me and them. I may not be able to disclose it this far, but to give you an idea, it is the largest gold producing company in the Philippines. It is owned by a Canadian firm. I guess I just had this opportunity, or I'm just lucky, to handle that kind of project wherein almost all of the aspects of security are covered by my job description or daily works, so my objective kasi is always to promote operational excellence and quality assurance by offering of course the best practices, assistance, and how to fix problems, and direction, of course, or leadership for enhancements about intricate issues within my purview, or within my area of responsibility. Actually, I have been operating throughout the Philippines across multiple sectors for blue chip investors and major clients, having filled senior program management roles, security risk assessments, key performance indicators like KPIs, management strategies, departmental budget management, complex change, transition programs are included also. And I have delivered actually extensive training courses and written corporate safety and security policies and standard operating procedures, of course. But my humble beginning, includes me being a security guard. Before, nagtrabaho ako, naging working student ako for me to graduate, no. So it took me 8 years bago ako nakagraduate because meron tayong mga financial constraints na hindi inaasahan, and thanks to God, I have what do you call this? I have surpassed that kind of problem or crisis, no. Before, talagang every semester or every examinations, it's like I'm not I was not being able to achieve my goals. It's because of my low pay, kasi ang sahod lang ng guards noon, I think wala pa yatang 5,000. So basically my humble beginning includes being an ordinary security guard, and I graduated, in 2004 with the degree of Bachelor of Science in Criminology at the Interworld College of Science and Technology Foundation in Tarlac City. That very same year, I took the licensure examination for a criminologist, and thanks to God, I was able to pass it with an average score of 80.80%. I started my professional career as a criminology instructor in various colleges here in Region 3. And eventually, I became a resource person for reviews and seminars for criminology students. More often than not, I was receiving invitation coming from various schools and if not organizations, of course, and review centers. So eventually naging ganun yung aking hanap buhay, I got early exposure, sa academe. So when I got this kind of exposure, so I decided na to enroll myself sa graduate studies, at first I enrolled yung Master of Arts in criminology, major in corrections, because I was a jail officer way back then, so I need to master the jail management aspects, however, CHED had released a document or a memo upgrading the Master of Arts to Master of Science. So because I was really determined to finish my graduate studies, I enrolled both, and in 2020, I was very fortunate then, but also less fortunate. Why? Yes, I graduated last 2020. However, my father died 2020 also. This is at the height of the pandemic. So, yun, isa kami sa, we were grieving for our father, because we miss him so much, and so on and so forth. I received the title Master of Science in Criminal Justice degree in 2020, and then I did not think twice, when I decided to go forward to hit my goal, becoming a doctor. My academic journey reached its peak when I graduated and successfully received the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Criminology, thus earning my doctoral title. No? Actually, ano lang yan, last year, 2023, August. Let's talk about the my security credentials. No? Basically, all of those requirements or credentials that is prerequisite to my position as a consultant, as training director, I did it all. Okay. In terms of my security credentials, I'm a PNP social license and accredited security training consultant, a licensed private security training director, a licensed security protection agent, and a licensed security officer. All the regulatory body issued all the licenses or an accreditation pertaining to security. No? Further, I also completed the OTS, Office of the Transport Security, required training program for port security officers last 2019 from Magsaysay Training Institute. I was also a member of the I'm also a member of the Philippine Society for Industrial Security and a certified security professional. The Philippine Association of Recognized Security Training Schools, or the PARS, also awarded me with the Certified Security Trainer title. Further, to add more, I was I'm a current bona fide member of the American Society for Industrial Security, the ASIS International, and lastly the Professional Criminologists Association of the Philippines, my beloved organization. Moving forward to my safety, health, and environment credentials, I acquired the prestigious NEBOSH International Certification 1 for managing occupational safety and health, and NEBOSH International Certification 2 for the risk profiling. This is the same with the risk assessment. I passed the board examination, and they have finally issued my certification, or the international certification. Part of my attainments was ISO Integrated Management System training program. No? We were trained to become internal auditors, actually, for 3 ISO standards. ISO 14001 for the environmental compliance, ISO 9001 for the quality management system, and ISO 18001 for the occupational safety and health. I further excelled when I took the ISO 45001, if I'm not mistaken, for 2018, and ISO 1911 2018 for the management and conduction of internal audits based on ISO that I mentioned. So, with regards to my local credentials, I'm a graduate also of construction officer occupational safety and health training. That's the COSH. The basic occupational safety and health training for the BOSH, loss control management. I'm also a graduate of that, the advanced course for safety. And lastly, I have finished also the basic pollution control training for managing heads, also in 2020. No? With regards to my accreditation, I have 3 accreditations coming from the government. No? From DOLE, I'm an accredited occupational safety and health practitioner. And from DOE, accredited safety officer. And last one is the permanent mining safety inspector, awarded and certified by the AMGB, Mines and Geosciences Bureau. that's under from the DNR. Let's move forward to my other credentials. No? I'm a book author. No? The Executive Protection Manual was one of my books. No? Other books, Fundamentals of Industrial Security Management. I also wrote that one. Correctional Administration for the licensure examination for criminologist reviewer. Institutional Correction, Personal Security Management, Mining Security Management, Asset Protection and Loss Control Management, first edition and second edition. No? And lastly, the Supply Chain Security Management. Yeah, let me emphasize one thing. The importance of having a training. But it is not just a training. Nowadays, napapansin natin na, training schools are uploading videos, footages of their actual trainings, maybe for marketing purposes, or they are promoting the school. This is to attract individuals who wants to be a protection agent. The executive protection training is the path to becoming a highly skilled protector. Executive protection is a demanding field that requires dedication, skill, and constant vigilance. No? I always use the word vigilance. It's because I strongly believe that being proactive is the key element in executive protection. In today's world, especially here in the Philippines, where high-profile individuals face ever-evolving threats, the need for skilled protection agents continues to grow. That's why, a lot of individuals are enrolling to various schools offering this course. Understanding what it takes to excel in his profession is very crucial for everyone considering the executive protection services to become their regular job, and the executive protection manual, which I authored, will guide or walk you through the key aspects of executive protection training, from essential skills to career opportunities. We'll explore the complex world of BIP security, where quick thinking and adaptability are just as important as physical strength and combat skills. Many of us are thinking that bodyguarding is just a simple task or specialized service. The essence of executive protection training goes far beyond basic security measures, actually. At its core, it aims to create professionals who can safeguard the VIPs from a wide range of threats in any environment. Unlike traditional security, which often focuses on what they call this, guarding specific locations, executive protection is about protecting individuals as they move through their daily lives. This means agents must be prepared for anything from navigating crowded public spaces to managing international travel visits or travel risks. And then they need to blend seamlessly into what do you call this, barrier or various social situations, you know, while remaining alert and ready to act if need be. You know? That is where the training programs come in. No? These training programs are designed to equip agents with a diverse set of skills. These include physical fitness, you know, combat techniques, but also extend to areas like threat assessment, risk management, even cultural sensitivity. You know, agents learn to participate or anticipate the potential dangers. You know, plan secure routes and respond effectively to emergencies. However, I would like to bring up a very serious concern. In the executive protection world, in other countries, the most we call this threat, they are now focusing on the cyber threats. You know, this is an adversary of the latest adversary of the VIPs. You know, let me tell you a story about. I remember watching one of the uploaded video training on Facebook, wherein a drill is being performed by 3 individuals. 2 of them were sitting down, talking with each other, and I think they're eating something. You know? While the other individual was standing at the back of one of the 2 gentlemen who were sitting down. So, as the audience, the presumption would be that the one standing is the protection agent, and one of the 2 gentlemen who were sitting down is the principal of that one standing behind. And then as I continue to watch the movie, surprisingly, or I should say, I was shocked on the next events. The one standing suddenly grabbed one of the 2 gentlemen, and guess what? He grabbed the one of the 2 gentlemen sitting down, and then they evacuate. And the guy who was sitting, one of the 2 gentlemen sitting down, grab his weapon and engage the attacker. So what I'm trying to say is that it was interesting because I always thought of that posted video as as being more on the entertainment side, but its portrayal of the drill as one or as part of their training resonated with many in our field. The truth is, what the posted video portrayed and what the job entails are entirely different and almost next to impossible. There's a saying in our industry
no? It's a 99% boredom and 1% sheer unmitigated terror. Okay? 99% boredom and 1% sheer unmitigated terror. We're always preparing for that 1%, despite what the posted video suggests. We're not running around with our hair on fire 24/7, you know. Yeah, that's the reality. Now, misinformation can arise when the trainer or individual lacking relevant expertise offer opinions on tactics and strategies employed by professionals. This is not only misrepresents the realities faced by protective agents, but also undermines the audience or the public's understanding of their critical roles. To say the media coverage surrounding this footage or video training was surreal and would be understatement. So, it's let's discuss more on this one. Okay, I really feel sorry for the industry. I'm so sorry. I'm doing a comment on this one, but this has to stop. You know, these videos being uploaded portrays that it's a non-stop action. That's a fancy version, actually. Every day is filled with car chases, you know, shootouts and hand-to-hand combat. But in reality, most days involve careful planning, observation, and a lot of waiting. We spend more on what do you call this, time preventing incidents than reacting to them. No, that's the reality of the executive protection. There are drills that they're performing like a lone wolf operators, and the fancy version there is one highly skilled agent single-handedly protects the client. No, it's not. You know, the reality is executive protection is a team effort. Okay, we work in coordinated teams, each with specific roles and each with specific responsibilities. No, it's the reality of our chosen field or chosen career. Other videos, they are you know, agents wear dark suits, you know, sunglasses and earpieces, standing out in every situation. But in the reality, again, we often dress to blend in, adapting our appearance to our client's environment. The goal is to be invincible until needed. Okay, that's the reality. Now, the other trainings or footages or videos being uploaded, it's like there's a constant danger. No, the fancy version is that every outing is a potentially life or death situation, but in reality, while we're always alert, most of our work involves routine tasks and careful risk management. What else? Unlimited resources. No, they are projecting that agents have access to high-tech gadgets. You know, they have unlimited budgets and government-level intelligence. But in reality, we work within budgets, use practical tools, and rely more on careful planning and human intelligence than fancy gadgets. Okay? It's not bad to, you know, project that we're using the high-tech equipment. However, the reality or the fact still remains that we work within the budget. Okay? I have seen also videos that, it's like protection agents often double as detectives or solving complex crimes and what else? Pursuing an assailant. It's our primary focus in executive protection is prevention and protection. Okay? We leave crime solving to law enforcement. Okay? The principle is to sound off, cover, and evacuate. When you engage, that's the last option. Okay? The main thing is to get out of the X. While these videos about executive protection being uploaded on Facebook can be entertaining, but they often miss the mark on the realities of our profession. The true art of protection lies in meticulous planning, okay? Keen observation and the ability to anticipate and prevent threats before they materialize. It's not as glamorous as the posted videos makes it out to be, but for those of us dedicated to keeping others safe, it is incredibly rewarding work. So my recommendation or suggestion to everyone, next time you're watching a posted video from Facebook featuring bodyguards or protection agents specialist training, remember, while it might make more good entertainment, it's far from an accurate portrayal of our day-to-day work as a protection agent. The real skill in executive protection is making sure nothing happens at all. Okay? The very moment a protection agent draws his issued firearm, that to me is tantamount to failure. And sad to say, the whole team, including the VIP, is already inside the X zone. What is the X zone? That's the kill zone, wherein all agents, including the principal or the VIP, are very close to death. They fail to perceive the threat, and someone did not do his job gathering intel or due diligence. The essence of bodyguarding, again, is being proactive and not reactive.